ओम श्री गणेशाय नमो नमः। कल पूरे समस्त विश्व में और भारत में महाशिवरात्रि का पर्व रहा। बहुत ही धूमधाम से लोगों ने सो विश यू ऑल as far as those are overseas, those are abroad, those are celebrating today. So happy महाशिवरात्रि। हम लोगों ने कल सेलिब्रेट किया, पूरी रात जश्न था और सदगुरु जी के यहाँ से पूरी रात का कार्यक्रम था। Such a wonderful, that's also a part of tourism which we all celebrate together. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sunday evening at 8 p.m. special program, special telecast, special Zoom, special heartbeats and special spirit for the NRIs of the Indian tourism and service industry. Today, we are going to bring the Golden Triangle, USA, Canada, and India, and tourism partnership. 19th of February, 2023, Sunday, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. We have got distinguished guests with us. I will introduce them in a little while. But meanwhile, I just wish to share with all of you that India has got the presidency of G20, and that's why USA and Canada both are part of it. They will be coming to India. There are lots of deliberations which are going on. So we extend you a very warm welcome on behalf of International Chamber for Service Industry. Hearty welcome. Pleasure to have Sakshi is the first to join today from Uttarakhand. Hearty welcome. Mohit Chaudhary ji all the way from Pathankot. Hearty welcome. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to India's G20 presidency. I must share with you, it's a golden triangle once again over here. We have taken the baton from Indonesia and we will be passing on to Brazil. So this year, it is India's presidency, 2023. Lot of deliberations and lot of celebrations are going across India in the different states. Each and every place of India is turning colorful. More than 200 get-togethers and the meets are going to be there. And what a wonderful slogan has been given. That is Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. I do not know, it's a sheer coincidence. During the pandemic, we have been talking about it. One earth, one family, and one future, all of us together. So hearty welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the countries of G20. When you talk about, there are 19 countries and 20th is the European Union. You have got Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, South Korea, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, United Kingdom, United States, and European Union. So these are the 20 countries which are listed, 20 G20 members, 19 countries and 20th is the European Union. So all the countries are listed over here in the different continents. You can see it for yourself. Here is the Honorable, dynamic and dedicated Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji. And under his dynamic leadership, this particular vision has come and G20 has been taken very seriously. Different tracks are going on. On 7th, 8th, and 9th of February, we had a wonderful get-together of the world leaders for tourism deliberations in Run of Kutch in Gujarat. On 1st and 2nd of February, there was a vertical for education and skills that was in Chennai with the IIT. And of course, the tourism was done by Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. And besides that, some more verticals like in Chandigarh, it was the financial track which was discussed in detail. And similar way, the next meeting of G20 for education is going to take place. That is coming on 15th, 16th, and 17th of March in Amritsar. That's again in the state of Punjab. Right. There are two tracks for the knowledge of all those people. Those are watching this program for the first time. There's a Sherpa track and there's a finance track. Sherpa is जनरली शेरपाज उन लोगों को कहते हैं जब आप हिमालयाज में जाते हैं तो जो माउंटेनरिंग में आपकी मदद करते हैं, दे आर शेरपाज बिकॉज दे आर एजाइल, दे आर रॉबस्ट, दे आर packed with lots of responsibilities and load. So similar way, the Sherpa for India is Shri Amitabh Kanji, the 1980 batch IS officer who was earlier with the Niti Aayog. Now he is the Sherpa for the G20 summit in India, and he has taken the great responsibility. And as far as the Sherpa track is there, that is with the Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. And as far as the finance track is concerned, that is with the Ministry of Finance vertical, which take place over there. This year, India is also celebrating Visit India Year 2023 campaign. So welcome to India, visit India, travel to India, inbound tourism to India. And the first tourism workshop for the group, that is the working group meeting, that took place on 7th, 8th and 9th of February in the run of Kutch, the tent city, because it was such a wonderful deliberations. You can see all the countries lined up over here. People were there from different countries. And then at the same time, deliberations were there, celebrations were there. And there are 5 priority themes which have been taken for tourism. It is for the discussion, and it is basically for the knowledge of all those are taking tourism education or research or skills. There's a green tourism, digitalization, skills, tourism, MSME, and destination management. All the 5 key priority areas are set for the deliberations for the G20 members, guest countries, and the international organizations. Now, there was an inaugural session. You can see right over here, and such a wonderful, here is the Honorable Minister, Union Minister of India, Mr. Reddy, who gave the wonderful keynote address over here, and it was focused on rural tourism for community empowerment and poverty elevation. They had also gone on ground to the different areas in Run of Kutch. They are also done a couple of meetings over there to discover the cultural heritage of India, to understand what all India offers, to keep them engaged the best possible way. There were a lot of festivities, including the yoga session for delegates. They've also gone to the Harappan site, which was declared as the World Heritage Site by the UNESCO. And there was a colorful, elegant craft of Run of Kutch for the delegates, which they enjoyed beautifully and they were gifted with. Here are they participating in the dance program, music program, going on the bullock carts, and something amazing what they've enjoyed. They also went to Spriti One. This is the place, ladies and gentlemen, where in the beginning of the 2000, if you recall, at the beginning of this particular decade, there was earthquake. And in the memory of that, in the Bhuj, there is a museum, memorial museum. Now, there will also be a meeting which will be taking place in Goa, where the roadmap for tourism would be discussed. They would also be taken to Siliguri, Darjeeling. That is 3rd to 5th of April. If you remember the movie called Aradhana, Mere Sapno Ki Rani Kab Aayegi Tu. That is the beautiful place where Rajesh Khanna and Sujit Kumar in the Jeep, they are there, and Sharmila Tagore sitting inside the coach. That was shown over there. So that's G20 summit, which is coming up in Siliguri, Darjeeling route, 3rd to 5th. Thereafter, there's going to be Global Tourism Investor Summit. That is going to take place in Delhi. It's going to be a very big event, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And there are lots of deliberations which are going to take place over here. Now, when we talk about G20, other members, all the countries I have already shared with you, listed for you on the world map. Over here, we are taking specifically because Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajan ji is from United States, our advisor for the chamber. And here are the colors of the United States of America. You can see the tourist attractions. You can travel to different states. And this is beautiful country called Canada, where everybody is rushing. Everybody wants to visit. I have also been given the invitation, but let the winter settle down and a little bit, the more warm weather comes up and situation improves, certainly we'll visit Canada sometime. It's such a beautiful country, amazing country. So ladies and gentlemen, let's travel together with the G20 with a focused approach on tourism, because one of the vertical is tourism, another vertical is finance. They are deliberating how basically the digital economy, the financial services, because world is passing through deep recession, inflation, and Ukraine-Russia war is going on. Prices are shooting up. So how the economy to be kept in the track. So you got to see that you got to remain positive. Situations will keep change. Time always change. It never remains same. So if you are positive and whatever your mind can conceive and believe in a positive way, it can achieve as well. That is something very important, which we have to realize. With this, we complete 1,821 webinars and we are moving ahead. Join me in extending a very hearty welcome To our distinguished guest, we have invited today CPA Surya Vijay Sastri Kotamarti ji, CEO Kotamarti Group from Canada, and Mr. Vikas Malhotra, who is a tourism strategist, eminent, thinker, who always thinks how Indian tourism to be grown and to be developed, and what kind of a planning, policy, marketing, and other areas. And Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajan ji from the Lamar University, Texas. So, ladies and gentlemen, join me in extending a very warm welcome to them. It's indeed a great pleasure to have them, and we are going to take the journey forward. I would request them, hearty welcome to both of you, and we hope that Vivek Shankar Natarajan ji also joins us in a little while. I would request both of you to kindly take on the vision, take on the journey. I've given the basic insight to you how the G20 summit is taking place for the whole year in India, how the different tracks are moving, and the financial deliberations. Fortunately, coincidentally, they took place at Chandigarh under the Ministry of Finance and with the members of the G20 countries and tourism. It was in Run of Kutch, and thereafter Siliguri, and thereafter, of course, we would be having Delhi Global Investor Summit, and then thereafter Goa, and then finally all the ministers would be meeting and they would be deliberating. The whole year, India is going to be so colorful. The canvas is full of different brushes. And with that, we take on the journey with our NRI friends this morning, this afternoon, this evening. I request CPA Vijay Kotamarti ji to take on, and then Vikas Malhotra ji to further share his vision. I extend a very warm welcome to both the dignitaries.
Namaskar. Thank you, Dr. Shamalji. Happy Mahashivratri to everyone celebrating across the world. Those who have already celebrated in India, and we here in North America are celebrating today because it's 19th Amavasya here and we have the Shivratri. So we all will be celebrating. Thanks to you for reminding us, and we wish everyone happy Mahashivratri. And the good thing about the G20, you have already said that out of the 19 countries and the European Union, one of the 19 countries is Canada. And just like the whole screen was full of colors across India, we here being part of the G20, Canada is again similarly a very colorful country, which runs from north to south, right from east to west, from Vancouver in the west to right up to Halifax and Nova Scotia and Gander of the east. So and then from north to south, of course, we have other northern provinces, and in the south, close to the border, we are here in Ontario. So there's a lot to speak about Canada, especially, every area is there. We can speak a lot. Maybe, today, I would like to speak a little about agriculture, because that is one area where India has always been in the forefront, even though industrial development was there in India, has been there in India after independence. Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru ji took it forward. India has always been predominantly an agricultural country, and agriculture is the backbone of every country, because we are there because of the food that we eat. Annam is the karanam for our birth, for our future, and for always being there. So agriculture sector is something that has to be respected. And I think I would like to discuss certain areas of the agriculture which Canada has been contributing very much across the world. And the pulses, for instance, what we call the dal in India, the tuar dal, the masoor dal, and all the other pulses. they are grown very widely in Canada. And of course, in the past, due to some regulations that were there within Canada and in India, there were certain restrictions which are not very favorable for importing the pulses and other things from India. But of late, there has been a very close look by ministers, both the ends, and they have like sorted out the issues and trying to see how best this particular product, which is heavily in demand in India and also available in India, but still available abundantly in Canada, can be imported into India. And I would just say pulses, in within which there are many different type of pulses that are grown across Canada and which can be utilized in India. One more area that Canada and India are progressing with is the Canada-India Pacific Treaty. There is the oil that will be can be transported from the Pacific via the Indian Ocean to India, and there are talks going on for that, and that will be again a big contribution from Canada to India and vice versa, because when trade takes place, trade always is not a one-way traffic. It is always on both sides, and leads to the development of both the countries. So I today wanted to say something about agriculture, and to start with, I said let me talk about the Can Pacific Treaty as well as the agricultural side. And my learned and wise friend Vikas ji is a lot knowledge about tourism, and across Canada, how tourism is there and how that can benefit all the that medical tourism or what every type of tourism that is possible. I'll now request because you to come in and fill in on that particular thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vikasji, please.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for having me once again over here. I sometimes get very, very, very pushed and inspired with all that is happening in the world, G20 being one of them. First of all, I would like to say, what is G20? G20 is a group of 20 landforms, because we have European Union also. I'm not going to say the countries in the world. So G20 is a group of landforms with a common interest. Common interest as a superset is going to be trading, as we have for the economic development, and things like important factors like a climate change, and every human being contributing, which belongs to those 20 landforms. Let's focus on common factors, common platforms, common goals between Canada and India. Allow me to say India first and Canada. There's no specific order, but what I mean to say, they both have a lot of things which are going hand to hand, and they both are at par with each other in lots of ways. Number one, I would like to say the human beings, the citizens who live there, warm by heart. That is one of the biggest things the G20 summit talks about, is how can we progress in the economic way, and trading comes first hand in hand. As my friend Vijay just said, that it has to be done both ways. Trading has to be done both ways. Tourism also has to be done both ways. We both the landforms inspire each other to visit, have the economic multiplier effect, and the good word about tourism is spreading out. G20 has a segment of the tourism industry in their agendas always, and which is extremely good. Brazil is going to be the next one who's also going to be talking about this subject as well. Tourism is tour is mandatory. It's a human want. It's a human wish A person who's on a wheelchair would also visually like to go and see on a screen, I'm virtually there under the waterfalls. I'm talking about the mindset. I may sound very aggressive, may sound very inspired, but tourism is a subject which is within my heart. I live my life on it. And I would request everybody to get the Tour is M logo within their hearts always as well. There is a sick kids hospital over here I would like to mention. Vijay is absolutely, I'm sure he's aware of it. The sick kids hospital, we had a visit over there just last week. And one of the things that the staff of the hospital said, when you converse with the kids who are sick, what are you going to talk about? So I will talk. So my answer was, I will speak to them only on those things which is going to bring a smile on their face. They're already suffering. They're already sick. So smile is what? I'm going to make them imagine what kind of landforms they are going to be. What do they think about mountains and beauty and culture exchange? What do they want to do in life? How, and then we started to talk about. So what I'm trying to say, G20 also has a segment of tourism in it. My dear friends, I have a request for every human being who is watching this and to spread at least to one other human being that you got to have Tour is M within your heart. It's very important. It's going to brighten you up. It's going to brighten your day. So I've been saying this in the past as well. One thing is talking, one thing is actioning. Now is the time to action. I would say at least go to one person. We see all these pyramid scheme, you make members and you do all this. When the world is going to do all this, this is a non-profit thing. You're going to give happiness to somebody without your expense. And just imagine you're spreading happiness, you get happiness within yourself too. G20 consists of the group and they are all decision authorities. We are talking about the governments coming together on a common platform and talking about things like trading, things like economic development. And if anybody has actually followed G20, every single G20 meeting always have the word youth development. Why would they talk about youth? Because they are the futures. They are the future of the land. They are the ones who will bring the country, allow me to say, I'm going to say landforms because European Union is also going to be there. They are going to bring all these landforms together and talk about the youth. The driving factor, whether it is medical profession, tourism, it is any economic trading, youth always has a role to play. Can we inspire them? Can we educate them? Can we do something about them? I would kindly request, when we talk about to another human being, try to talk to a youth. Try to talk to a youth, putting in the mind that this is you are responsible for your future. You are responsible to contribute in the future development of the landform you come from, and spread the right word and spread it all over. So there is a reason why these meetings on the international levels are being held. Governments don't have time unless it is deemed mandatory, unless it is deemed fruitful. That is why they come together like a rock. We are going to form G20, which is group of 20. Let's focus a little bit more. Let's see what they are, what are all these leaders doing. India is a big part of that. India is hosting it right now. And Brazil is going to be next. Indonesia, a small little place, was the previous one. So there's a huge common interest going on. So, but I would not just leave it to the governments of all these G20. I would also request every single citizen of these landforms is also going to be responsible. And let's do the first step. Let's take an action. Let's not just talk and talk and talk. I would say spread the good word. Tour is M. Tour is mandatory.
Wow. Wow.
Let me add something there to his great words that he has used, Sharmaji.
Yeah.
Tour is M is what he's saying. So
Huh.
I interpret it as tour is M for me, because tour is for everyone.
Huh.
So tour is
Very good.
for me,
Uh,
first thing.
Thank you.
And second thing, being a finance man, that M also means money.
money.
To in tourism, tour is for money also. So the money
Okay.
that you spend comes as money income to the country to which you give, and the money that you spend comes back to you in the form of the good experiences that you share with yourself. So that's a very good thing. Breaking down, tour is M, tour is me, and tour is money. That's what
Okay.
I thought I'll
Anything,
share.
Thank you.
Vikas?
Thank you. I just want to add, this is so perfect example. Vijayji, thanks a lot. So tour is M. The tourism, money can make you rich. Tourism can make you wealthy. There's a difference between the two. It
Yes.
enhances you. So thank you so much. Tour M is money. Money is not those crispy notes or the bank notes. Money is also the wealth of the knowledge that you have within your heart and mind. So that also adds up. Excellent. Thank you so much for adding this
Wonderful.
up.
Wonderful. When you both were deliberating and you both were sharing your views, I also coined 4 words. When you say tour is M, tour is magnificent, tour is mindful, tour is meaningful, and tour is mandatory.
Very
So
good.
nice. Absolutely perfect and so appropriate putting it.
I just coined these 4 words when Vikas was talking and Vijayji was talking, that I just took on. Let me get my another dignitary, because we are talking about G20, the G20 summit which has come to India, and USA is also a part of it. Canada is also a part of it. There are different tracks onto which we are talking. We are talking on tourism. We are talking on education. We are talking on skills. We are talking on agriculture. We are talking about finance. We are talking about global climate change. We are talking about environmental factors. We are also talking about employment generation. And another track is their cultural heritage and environment and climate, of course. And finance track is a separate track where everything related to finance. And India is giving lots of solutions on digital economy to the world during this G20 summit, because they're posing and they're displaying everything what all is happening in a digital arena in India at this point of time. So ladies and gentlemen, from Canada, let's turn our flight now to Texas. Let's go to United States and meet Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajan, our advisor over there. He's also a marketing don and a strategist. Yes, Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajan.
So anyway, Gulshan ji, namaste to Vikas ji and Vijay ji. The 3 V's back, V3. So like G20, we got V3. So
yeah.
But anyway, sometimes I wonder, G20 is Gulshan 20. You should have your own, like T20, you should have your own G20. So a couple of things. Gulshan ji, you talked about culture. Actually, the last night was a beautiful night because I was in Shivratri mode. So you still see the tika. I've not taken a shower as yet because I was fully in that mood. And then immediately I'm reporting to duty. So 12 hours I was in puja and now I'm back. So I feel
we will take few moments only. We will take few moments.
I'll tell you what, I want to share a few observations.
Yes.
About the developments. We'll talk about G20 maybe and another thing. But today I think one of the things that when we talk about tourism, one of the factors I mentioned was we need more direct flights between North America and India. Somewhere, I don't know, the message probably seems to have gone across because if you've seen, Air India has bought a boatload of planes from Boeing and Air India. And if you've seen the way the whole thing has been orchestrated by both the private sector, which is Air India, and then the enabler being our government, and then it's a beautiful thing because now people are saying we are exporting jobs. We are creating jobs in other countries. And literally, see, globalization has to be a two-way street. People are now talking about reverse globalization, where developing countries are able to get stuff done, and then that is importing jobs also. And so to me, that was a big deal. So with the Air India order, I think I see a great enabling thing for tourism. Because tourism, Vikas ji has already talked about the latent demand, right? People have to go places, right? But how do you go if there is no infrastructure? And that's where, I've been very fascinated with all the growth that has happened in infrastructure to bring people to India. All these new planes and new purchases, revamping Air India, privatizing Air India, all that is taking the right step. Similarly, within India, traveling, the amount of infrastructure that is being happening in terms of railways, the amount of, railway station becoming a hub for commerce. This is something I've seen in at least Europe. You would go to at least Switzerland. I've seen this. You go to
and Professor Saab, 38 kilometers road gets constructed every day.
Absolutely.
38 kilometers
I'm
in
from
India.
Bengaluru.
Yeah.
Bengaluru, the people are raving 2 hours to go to Chennai. So like that, I think every city is going to get connected. Chandigarh to Delhi, I don't know how fast it is going to go. So now on one hand, all this train connectivity, road connectivity, and then the plane connectivity. If after this, if we don't have tourism, I'll be surprised. This is both, and not only that, sprucing up the culturally heritage sites. If you've seen, even for Shivratri, I was seeing the feed from Coimbatore, Isha Yoga. Then there's Art of Living, and then all the traditional temples, Kashi and all that. All that has created such an impact. That is going to keep the tourism industry going. And, people kind of mistake that religion or culture has no value. But remember that the kind of job multipliers that creates, the kind of the society that we have been creating, it's very fascinating. So I've been very bullish about all these things. But of course, you're right. We also have a lot of good examples to talk about in terms of fintech, digital currency. The way the whole sector of the economy, C.K. Prahlad used to talk about the bottom of the pyramid, but the bottom of the pyramid is not the most digitized bottom. It is just not some lame bottom. There's the digital currency that we have. All that is really a transformative thing. And these are all lessons that, probably India can export in terms of its experience and knowledge to the G20. And every day I've been seeing some positive stories that delegates have been taken to this place or that place, and they're very excited. So, this is really fascinating. And I think, as an ancient civilization, as a young democracy, all this really is good for it. It's a good time to be an Indian. Let's put it this way, whether you're in India or abroad.
Thank you very much.
And people might say, you're only doing a narrative, but remember, all these narratives don't happen just, without ground reality. You can't really put a lipstick on a pig. If there is only truth, only with that only we can get that. So these are just my observations. Again, as I said, some of these topics, we need to go into specific sectors, but I'm very, very bullish with the kind of things that I've seen. The Air India order itself is very transformative. I'm just hoping that we all can have direct flights now between various cities in the US. And that itself is a big deal, because all your NRIs, the amount of money they are willing to spend for keeping the local connection. Can you believe the amount of money that an NRI community spends on building temples? I can tell you in Houston, there are about 60 temples. Each temple is at least $1 million plus. That is the kind of local multiplier effect these temples have. And now you put a flight. All these people want to come and visit India for yoga or cultural tourism or even doing business. This is very transformative. So that is really where I kind of went into it. I thought the Air India thing was very useful because we had discussed this. Because I think you'll agree.
I want to add to that, Vivek. Actually, I was told that there is going to be a direct flight to Hyderabad, which has been my dream for the past 25 years living in Canada. Till today, there is no direct flight to Hyderabad. I was told that Air India is going to come up with that. So what you're saying is absolutely correct. There will be more direct flights to India.
Kotamarti garu chala santosham samacharamu.
No, that's true.
This is a good news. And I think we need direct flights between Chandigarh also, Gulshanji, so that we come to Delhi to see you.
We can go to see him, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, look at it. Chandigarh is at the cusp of Himalayas. It's the gateway to Shimla and the whole Himachal Pradesh.
Definitely right.
So I'm sure we are going to have more direct flights. And again, that way, you know what? The beautiful thing about direct flights is that opens up gateways to regional cuisines. So we can get Hyderabadi biryani directly in and if you're flying to Chennai, you will get idli vada. So if you go, I'm just telling you, there's so much rich diversity. How do you showcase? Most people think it is only paratha or dal in India. No, there is so much diversity in cuisines, but only all these will get showcased when you have all these infrastructure developments happening.
Vikasji, you wanted to add on something?
Yeah. Thank you. Direct flights, surely, absolutely. That is one of the higher in the agendas. One of the things that I do, I've not shared this with in the previous platforms. One of the job profiles that I have is to see about the feasibility at the airports, and there is civil aviation involvement as well. So what happens is when there is a purchase like a 20 billion as Air India has proposed and is expected to come in the next few years, place the orders for these aircrafts, there's definitely a potential that the Air India has seen, which is going to go there. And North America, what is one of the biggest markets for India as well. Why? Because there are lots and lots of NRIs settled down here in North America. Now, even if it is the VFR, which is the visiting friends and the relatives traffic, which is going to come from North America to India, it is also going to inspire others around them to come to India. And you actually said it right, that this is basically going to give a boost. So when Air India, a company like Air India or any other airline on a mega platform is going to do a purchase like that, they already have a plan in place. What are the sectors we're going to add up? What are the routes which we will see? I'm confident that in time to come, there will be more frequency of the non-stop flights between North America and within India. And if Hyderabad is one of them, biryani will be on my list as well.
You'll get it.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, something very interesting, which Professor Vivek, Shankar, Natarajan ji, Vikas ji, and Vijay ji had put it. I wish to share when we are talking about air transport, road transport, railway transport, we also must add over here that the world longest river cruise that was inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister of India on 13th of January. And this is a 3-deck cruise. It is with 32 Swiss tourists, and it started its journey from Kashi, that is from Varanasi, on 13th of January. And this would reach after 51 days Dibrugarh in Assam. It will be covering lots of places, including the neighboring country, Bangladesh. It's a 51 days cruise, and it is a wonderful. On 5th and 6th of March, they would be received in Dibrugarh, that is in the state of Assam. When you travel, you come from Tinsukia to Dibrugarh, Dibrugarh to Moran, Moran to Shivsagar, Shivsagar to Jorhat, Jorhat to Kaziranga, Kaziranga to Navgaon, Navgaon to Dispur, that is the capital, Guwahati. So when I talk about the state of beautiful Assam, so Dibrugarh this would be reaching, and it is covering a large portion of Bangladesh as well. And something interesting over here, the total journey is about 3,200 kilometers. This particular cruise which is taking place, and the ship, when you talk about the decks, the cruise, it is measuring somewhere 62 meters in length and almost 12 meters in the width. That is the kind of a size it has got. It has got beautiful amenities. It has got 18 suites, and it can accommodate total about 36 passengers. And 25,000 rupees equivalent, the kind of a money you pay per night, and you enjoy wonderfully. Can you imagine? Now the Vande Bharat and the new trains and the new production and all that is coming up, the metro, which is coming up, infrastructure. Something very interesting Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajan ji gave me, and that gave me the food for thought to think. When he talked about, we are exporting jobs also, because when Air India flight will take off from India, of course, it will generate jobs in India also. It will have direct jobs, indirect jobs, multiplier effects and everything. But the destination where that additional flight will go, you would need additional people to be employed there also, infrastructure also, runways also. At the same time, when Vikas ji mentioned that one of the areas which is his concern is feasibility studies. Yes, that's something is very important. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of work has been done. And reverse globalization, when Professor Natarajan talked about, something really touched my heart. And recently, when I talk about it, there was an air show in Bangalore, Yalanka. And if you see, F-35 aircrafts were there, and they were flying all the way for the first time from America to India. And also I should endorse with pleasure, recently we had the Foreign Minister of Canada. She was visiting India, and with S. Shankar ji, they had a wonderful round of discussions, meetings and greetings, and everything was discussed. I'm pretty sure that a lot is in the platter, which will move forward, and a lot other countries are coming. Germany, when you talk about the German foreign minister, she also visited recently India. And besides that, when you look at G20, it's an amazing what's happening. So many countries, so many delegates, so many sectors, so many areas. And as in the beginning of the program, we discussed, the tourism, the agriculture, the culture, the digital economy, the education, the skills, the employment factor, environment factor, climate factor, finance track, everything we discussed in detail. And of course, Kotamarti ji covered the agriculture part also. Closing remarks, a minute each to be taken by three of us. And thereafter we close today session. Anybody can come in first and we can thereafter conclude the session. Let's have a minute each.
I'll go for it first.
Sure, please.
If I'm allowed.
Please.
Thank you. Each one, teach one. Tour is M. Please, my dear audiences, my dear friends, my dear fellow citizens all over the world who are watching this, please inspire another human being to go on a tour, to go outside, at least make your brain more relaxed and see the world or see within India itself. India is beautiful. Just don't stay home. Please inspire another human being apart from yourself. When Dr. Sharma was talking about the river cruise, I'm almost 100% sure everybody were imagining themselves being in a part of that cruise. At least I was. And that already gave you a feeling, oh my God, this is very, very good. Tourism, employment also has many other factors. There are lots of clients who go for the reasons of health. And there are lots of, like the Ayurveda, massage and all those things. And I would also say that people also go for treatments like those as well. So there can be any reason, but please make a move. Please get into action. That's all. Thank you so much for having me. And I will give to the next speaker.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Vivek ji, would you like to say something or can I go ahead?
Vijay garu, no chappandi. I want to listen to you.
Okay, very good. Let me add then in conclusion, I would say tourism, like tour is M. The word Vasudeva Kutumbakam itself means the world is one. And obviously, you cannot visit any place without tourism. You have to go and see places. Of course, you can also mentally go anywhere in the world. That's as a soul, you can travel across the world. But physically is what we talk about as human beings. We always talk about moving in person. So tourism will be possible through the Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Let us be one as part of the world, and very proud that India is now has the presidency for the G20, the great 20 countries, including the European Union across the world. So we as Vasudeva Kutumbakam, let us be one and promote tourism and take it forward. Over to you, Vivek. నేను మాట్లాడానండి, మీరు మాట్లాడండి.
ధన్యవాదం అండి, చాలా సంతోషము.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, you improve your vocabulary also with the cultural diversity of India. Vikas?
And that is Telugu. Yeah.
Gulchandi,
For sure. I'm enjoying
so
this.
that we also get some Punjabi lessons there.
Great. Please go ahead.
So wonderful. No, I think the point is, I think I don't have to say anything more. When I was, when I was in this huge stadium, the Energy Stadium in Houston, with 1.5 lakh people, and standing in front of us was our Prime Minister, Honorable Narendra Modi ji, and he said, each of you bring 10 people. He has already said the message is very clear. That was 2019 September. Uske baad COVID aa gaya. But you know what he has done in that time? He has digitized. He has put the trains, Vande Bharat, now roads. Sab dal diya hai. Now it is our business, our job to bring people. And one area that I think this summer, I am taking a bunch of students, a group of students to Spain, to university, study abroad. So like that, I think our universities now should, in India and US, in this especially in this G20 time, we should start looking at more study abroad options. Because the university, when students go abroad, especially in the US, it's a very encouraged thing. Students are encouraged to do that as a course, and they are encouraged to go and study other cultures. This will be a great way for students from other countries to come and understand. So I think the External Affairs Ministry probably should look into this as a segment, because this will drive down not only tourism, but in a long term, it will also create people who will have a positive understanding of what India is. Otherwise, most people are reading about all the negative things. There is actually a cottage industry or even a small scale industry that is dedicated only to create negative news about India. So how do you change the narrative? Bring people, let them see everything for themselves. We have nothing to hide. India is probably one of the most open societies in terms of, you can see, we don't put a iron curtain. That is the beauty of India. You can come and see. There used to be open defecation. Now you have put Swachh Bharat toilets. People should need to see the story. Let them then make a conclusion. Has India gone up or not? Right? Otherwise, what is happening? A small cottage group, cottage industry is feeding all the news. So we need more people to come to India and see it. And I'm sure with anybody with half a brain and some open mind will come to the conclusion that India is definitely on the path to Vikas.
Yeah, Gulshanji, just one last minute. I should have added this when I was speaking, but I would like to say, because you spoke about Vande Bharat, I will share with everyone my personal experience. I went from Visakhapatnam to Rajahmundry by Vande Bharat, which is one of the fastest trains in India today. And within 2 hours and 10 minutes, I was in Rajahmundry from Visakhapatnam, where any other super fast trains, including Shatabdi, takes about 3 hours 45 minutes. So the same trains which are in India, Vande Bharat and Shatabdi, within there itself, you can see the development, the progress. The second train is the Shatabdi, which is also a super fast train. I traveled from Pune to Hyderabad within 8 hours by Shatabdi, and it was on dot at every station, including the final concluding station, Secunderabad, where I traveled. Hats off to the government that is there in India. I really commend the transportation development, the infrastructures that has been put into place, and experience is what speaks. And I am telling out of my personal experience that there cannot be any better infrastructure in India that is there right now. And thanks to the government that has made it possible, and this will be there for years to come. It doesn't matter which government will be in power. The government is meant to make the change, and the government has made the change. So I appreciate the government.
Wonderful. Thank you. Now, as all three of you are on the advisory board of ICSI, I would like to make a humble appeal to you. Kindly shoot out a mail to the Education Minister of India. One idea has struck just now while you three were expressing your views. When you talk about group of 20, that is 19 countries and European Union, why not during this year, India should invite a group of youth and teachers from these countries to visit India when these deliberations are going on, because somewhere Vikas mentioned everything belongs to youth. They are today and they are tomorrow. Why not to involve them? I would make a request to you, please shoot out and write a letter email, just a short email, as an advisor of the ICSI, let's set the ball rolling. Somebody has to take an initiative to give new vision and the new idea. When
Send us the emails. Send us the email.
I will send. Now, when he gave the
Gulshan ji,
please.
हम एक काम कर सकते हैं. We can share our ideas and maybe we could create even something on ICSA. We can give you the points. आप बना दीजिए and we can all sign and we can go through ICSA because.
No, that's not correct. That's not correct. In a public, I would like to tell you, it's a suggestion which has come when you were talking about youth, when we were talking about 20 countries. Let it come from the members. Let it come from the advisors. Let your views travel, because when you write from your home country, then it has got a different connotation. We got to take it from that point of view. I am already attending programs. I'm already participating. I'm keenly doing. Now there is a new dimension which Vikas ji and of course Vijay ji, before Professor Natarajan, you had come, they were talking about tourism. Tour is M. That is M capital if we write separately. And we were telling tourism is me, tourism is money, tourism is mood, tourism is mind, tourism is magnificent, tourism is mindful, tourism is meaningful, tourism is mandatory. There are a few more terms which have come while deliberating.
Tourism is meditative. Tourism is music.
Now. Tourism is meditation. Tourism is musical. Yes. Now, few more words. Tourism is migration temporarily. It is, you're moving to a different place. It's a migration temporarily. Tourism is mindfulness. Tourism is mental happiness. So, all our audience, those are watching this particular program, if you can coin something which can come with tour is M capital. So with M, whatever you can, I think I will start this campaign in India and we will try and see how much vocabulary we add with the tour and with the is and with M, which Vikas gave it to us today. It was really wonderful. Please.
Thank you. I would like to give the prize of 1,000 rupees to the person. All the audiences are requested to come and Dr. Sharma will actually pick the best out of all those things. The one he picks up, I would like to give 1,000 rupees to them from our side, because we are talking about a beautiful industry.
Thank you.
Tourism.
1,000 each. 1,000 each. I am adding one. And I'm sure the US dollar will definitely add 1,000 rupees.
Yes,
also.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
It's such a pleasure to have all three of you. Such a wonderful evening. And it's a morning for all three of you.
We should call this the V3 session. So this is the V3 session.
Oh my God, V3 session. Okay, this is a new coining. I'm so grateful. My deep gratitude and thanks to all of you. Anybody, if you want to say something, I think then otherwise I'll close the session.
V3 as in letter V and number 3, and WE3 is also V3.
V3. Okay. That is V for victory. That is a victory 3, and then V3. Yeah, that's
and then
great.
if we take the mathematical form, it's the V to the power of 3 is the cube of 3 of V.
Yeah.
V
and Gulshanji, victory, Vijay is victory, Vikas is development, and Vivek is the knowledgeable. So all the three are in the V also. So you can see the development, the victory.
I'll tell you one thing. I mean, I am thinking, because our Prime Minister is big on Nari Shakti. Vijay, Vikas means development. That is Lakshmi. Vijay means that is Durga, and Vivek means knowledge, that is Saraswati. So sare aa jate hain. Our society is only all about these three, right? You need from that you accumulate wealth, from wealth you get knowledge. That's how India always be.
One is Vikas, one is Vijay, and third is
Vivek.
Wow. I know you are very intelligent. I know. Thank you very much. Such a pleasure.
Doctor साहब, अगर 3 लोग हम लोग बैठे होते ना, कुछ नहीं होता. आप आपके साथ बैठे हैं. You are the
इसलिए.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you. It's such a wonderful, hilarious session. I personally feel that it should be participative, it should be knowledgeable, it should be innovative, and something new adding up. And finally, let's have a closing prayer from Vivek, Shankar, Natarajan ji, because we had Mahashivratri. Let's have a closing prayer and then we close the session.
Om Vagarta Viva Sampruptau Vagartah Pratipattaye Jagatah Pitarau Vande Parvati Paraveshwarau. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My deepest gratitude to all three of you. Look forward meeting you. Next week, we are having a launch of the book coming from United States of the Lady. And thereafter, we will come back, three of us together again. But Vivekji, I would request you, the lady who is coming next week, if you can introduce her, if you can get her, that would be really very meaningful. And both my dignitaries, you're more than welcome to join, to listen to what she has got on yoga, on meditation, on India, whatsoever